And we're back. Mickey with CarryTrainer.com. In 10 minutes or less, I am going to teach you how to get your pistol up quicker with accurate hits with very simple basic training. Out in the wind here, January 13th, 2026, I've got a dead cat on, so I hope it's not too windy. The last time we were out here, my Glock 48 decided that it had had enough and was ready for a little rebuild. I do not have that pistol yet, but I am now today going to run the Gen 5 Glock 19 Koa, which we did a video on. I'll put a link in the description if you want to see that. I've got a piece of C-zone steel. It'll be at about 12, 13 yards, and I'm alone out here, so nobody else is with me on the private range here with a good berm behind us. All safety rules apply. Something to think about when we work in isolation. What I mean by isolation would be this. If you're playing baseball and you're working on batting, you're not working on fielding. You're not working on throwing. You're not working on running. You're working on batting. So we have to be able to think about how the whole game is played, and then whatever individual component, in this case the draw stroke, how it plugs into the whole. And the reason I say that is because from time to time, more often than not, someone will comment, real nice, but what about moving? Or what about cover? Or what about reloads? Or what about multiple bad guys? Or what about low light? All of those things are cool considerations that are valid points, but we have to work a task, or a skill rather, in isolation. And today we're going to look at the draw stroke. So a few very key points that are going to be something that I want you to make sure that you jot down and think about when you're on the range. Number one, consistency in how you place the thing on your body. It doesn't matter if you're using a shoulder holster and inside the waistband at the appendix, or at the 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock, or in this case 3 o'clock from outside the waistband. Doesn't matter where it is. The draw stroke requires consistency in placement. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to use my right hip. I've got a lot of videos. I'll plug a couple in the description on how to actually draw. So number one, consistency in placement. Don't move the thing around and expect to be consistent. That said, when we place the gun on our body, the holster that we choose has to allow us the number 2 point, which is a master grip. So the master grip we'll talk about in real quick succession here, high and tight. High and tight, the first thing people think about is, ooh, badass recoil control. No, high and tight gives me repeatability and consistency. I'm going to use a touch point of my middle finger and a touch point here on the web of my hand. Touch, touch. Those high and tight positions are helping me develop repeatability and consistency. So the point about how that gun is placed on you, if the holster does not allow you to make those touch points, you need to make an adjustment. So point one, consistency in placement. Point two, master grip, and that happens in the holster. So first things first, dominant hand goes to the gun, and I consciously connect, this is what I'm doing, this chunk of my finger and this chunk of my dominant hand web here between the thumb and index finger onto the gun. How will you know where it's supposed to be? Well, let's form, and remember, nobody's behind the camera, let's form a good master grip behind the gun, take our support hand off, and then just look. What do I see? What do I see? I've made some marks on here because I was showing somebody something, but what do I see on the gun? Okay, now those things I need to burn into my brain through conscious repetition. So again, one, consistency on body. Two, repeatability in our gaining of the master grip. So we'll break this down into 4 positions. You can break it into 2 positions, 3 positions, 20 positions. 4 works good for what we're doing. So I'm going to face the camera. We'll go live fire in a minute. Position 1, my support hand is either clearing the cover garment if I'm in this position, or coming to the center of my body. In this case, I'm going to sweep my coat open and I'm going to go to the gun. And as I do so, one thing I'm sure of is that this hand is not in front of the holster, because when that gun comes out of the holster, I don't want to be pointing at my hand. On that, oftentimes we create training idioms, or axioms rather, where we do something like place the palm of our hand flat on our chest. There's nothing inherently wrong with that other than we're taking some time, or adding some time to go here back to here. We do that, or people teach that, because it's a nice way for the instructor or staff on a range to see that you're not going to hurt yourself. I've got no issue with it, but understand where it comes from. So support hand comes to the center line of the body, dominant hand goes to the gun. So 1, 1, 1, 1, and I am being very conscientious to ensure that I've got my touch point. Touch point, touch point. 1, 2, the gun clears the holster, is oriented about 6 feet in front of me. 3, I've got my next touch point. The next touch point, if I form my master grip, is going to be like a karate chop, touching the trigger guard. Touch, and now my eyes are already where I want the muzzle to appear, and I drive the sights or dot right to what I'm looking at. Bring the gun back to the holster, carefully reholstering. Again, 1, 2, 3, touch point. 4, drive the gun out right to where I'm looking, safely reholster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1. And now if we smooth it into one movement, see that? Not too shabby. Not hard at all. We're going to dry fire this using a small point of aim, not trying to go super fast out of the gate, but trying to build good, repeatable connections to the gun. As the gun goes from here to here, here to here, I create solid pressure on the gun. How much? Whatever you are required, whatever is required for you rather, with your hands, the friction coefficient of the grip material, etc., to get good hits. We don't all have the same hand size or strength. That changes as we age. I'm cold today, so my hands, aren't cold and numb. I'm going to change the camera angle and we're going to run this live. All right, target's at about 12 yards, trying to position myself where you can see me well. We'll do a good load and go back to the holster. So we'll work this out nice and controlled. I'm going to square up on the target. I've got my eyes and ears, range is safe. I'm putting my eyes where I want the round to appear, where I want the sights or dot to appear. I go back to my earlier statement. Some guys will look at this and they'll go, well, what about when you can't? Look, mofo, you have to train with a high level of understanding that you don't get to control everything, but the first thing I'm going to do is develop the skill that I want, and then later I can plug in the problems, like being off balance or having to move as I draw, etc. So let's just learn it statically. Stay with me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the shot breaks. And we'll go back to the holster and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, cover garment. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, mindful that as I connect here, my hand is right where I want it to be. Gun comes up, touch, eyes are on the target, forming my grip from here to here. I don't get the gun out and then start squeezing. From here to here, by the time I get to that full extension or presentation, it's exactly what I'm looking for. Looks pretty easy, right? Feels pretty easy. All we're looking for is consistency. Consistency in where you place the things on your body. Consistency and repeatability in how we connect to the gun in the holster. Aligning our eyes where we want the sights or the dot to appear. Using compound movements such as my support hand and dominant hand going to their positions together. I don't go to the gun, then bring this hand up. I do it together. I clear the cover garment and go to the gun simultaneously. As many things as we can compound, we will reduce wasted time and effort. And then efficiency in removing things that don't need to be there at all, such as extra body movements, putting ourselves in a good posture to shoot as we draw. That's more of that compounding idea. Practice in dry fire. Get yourself a shot timer. Most of what's going to make you fast is removing waste. Then, once you can do that with regularity, push yourself safely on the range. Push yourself at your own risk. One more time. Push. My hands are getting cold. How about one more? Felt good. Mickey with CarryTrainer.com. Couple things to think about. One, check out my good buddies at Supervel Ammunition. It is super awesome. We very much love and support that company right out of Henderson, Nevada. We'll be out there in April for a 3-day class at Pro Gun, rifle and pistol. It's going to be badass. I love that range. We'll be shooting from 510 yards out to 300 with our carbines. A lot of good times will be had. Also, please check out Ignis Lux Coffee. It is Latin for firelight, and it denotes that fire that's inside you all. I'll leave you with a fun little message. This past week, we got a flurry of emails from an angry person that views our stuff online. How dare you do this? How dare you do that? Keep shilling your coffee and your lube. And I'm often, when I see things like this, saddened by a person who has such a boring life that they need to go to the point of emailing a stranger to say that they don't like what they're doing on the internet. I hope that if you guys don't appreciate this, you won't waste 1 second of your life with it, and go find something that fills you and makes you happy and makes you satisfied and brings joy to you. Don't do anything that doesn't. It's a waste of your life. I appreciate you sincerely from the bottom of our hearts. Anybody that supports us through viewing this channel, sharing the content, liking, subscribing, all those cool things, or buying things like our coffee or our firearm lubricants, or supporting our good friends like over at Supervel, we appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. Be well. Don't be dickheads. Tell somebody you love them. I think I better end here on a little bit of a bang, huh? I don't have a magazine. How could we not have a magazine? Oh, there's one. See ya now.